From the northern shores and woodlands to the west, it's history. From copper mines and iron ore, the Great Lakes fishery, to the farmlands of the southern counties and east to Chesapeake Bay. Look at all that waits the sportsman across the USA. And sometimes when the moon brings out the diamonds in the snow, the stillness of the forest is encased in Arctic cold. The wind might whisper through the trees, listen to it say the beauty of our great outdoors across the USA.
Hi there, come on in. I'm Fred Trost, inviting you to join me in another edition of Outdoor Digest, where tonight we're going to take to the air, not in an airplane or a helicopter, but in a hot air balloon. What we're going to do is look at deer habitat, the checkerboard patterns of woods and fields from the air, and see if we can figure out what patterns the deer use to move from area to area. We're also going to have a feature on a goose hunt and a great recipe for squirrel fricassee. So stay tuned. It's time for Outdoor Digest. That big buck knows where he's going, but we don't. We assume he's going to continue the way he's walking. But chances are he's following a trail, a pattern that from the ground we don't see. Our cameraman and director John Ford has brought us many spectacular shots of deer over the past couple of years. But Bill Martin, a Chevy dealer and hot air balloonist from Saginaw, said we ought to get a bird's eye view of the checkerboard patterns of deer habitat and watch the patterns of deer movement from the air. There you go. From the inside. First filled with cold air, a few shots of heat from the burners sets the balloons upright where we load the baskets for takeoff. One of our pilots is Gordy Schaefer from Hubbardston, owner of the Michigan Balloon Company. His balloon is unmistakable. His balloons are busy in the summer, taking charter flights mornings and evenings, but in the fall, Gordy loves to hunt deer. And before season, he takes many trips over his deer hunting territory, checking out the habitats and the deer. We're going to float over the Maple River. You'll see two time periods here, September from our recent flight and November, which we took last year. September with foliage and November after the leaf drop. One thing you notice when you peer down through the trees is that in the heavy woods, there isn't much undergrowth. When the leaves drop, deer really can't hide well in a big woods, and aside from the acorns, there's not much for them to eat. Now, we didn't see many deer in the heavy wooded areas. Most of the time, we flushed them out of the grassy flats or brushy areas with a few trees or next to woods or fields. There they are. When spooked, they run for cover, which usually means trees, but frequently they'll be lying down in grassy areas or even fields of beans or other low crops. Here's a recently vacated deer bed, quite a distance from the edge of the field. Deer like to bed out in the open, away from their runways, and this is where they bed in the summer and in the fall, but they're difficult to approach there. And when they spook, they don't necessarily follow a pattern. Now watch these deer come together and explode apart, all going different directions. They hear the burners igniting on the balloons, but they don't know where that sound is coming from. Deer runs are relatively reliable indicators of where to set a hunting blind. Look at this runway, heavily used. Most of the time, deer will walk down these trails, eventually making a rut like you see. But they also use runways as escape trails. But watch how this doe splits off the runway to get off to the side. Then she stops. She can't figure out where that balloon noise is coming from. She stops to scent the wind, cock her ears and search with her eyes for any clue of where the intruder is. But she never looks up, and when spooked again, she'll angle back. Her ears are rotating as she runs, not sure of where the noise is coming from. She'll stop to look around again. Her pattern is broken, and she isn't sure which direction to go. Remember, when she wasn't quite as confused, she used the runway, which she'll use again when she settles down. Hunters are tuned to putting stands by deer runways, but deer don't always travel on the open field side. A good bet is in the corner of a woods or a field facing towards the woods. This deer is comfortable with cover around it, but watch it bolt when it crosses the clearing. It wants to get to the other side. In the cover, it stops. They almost always do. And watch this fawn bolt when it hears the balloon. I haven't said anything yet about the wind. It's blowing towards the deer because that's the way the balloons are drifting. And the deer are always running away, downwind in almost every case. Not one deer in both of our flights had crossed back and run against the wind to escape. They've all run downwind or crosswind, slightly downwind. Wind is not a big factor in determining which way a deer is going to move. They head for cover, or if they're disturbed, they change cover. But they don't automatically, as many people think, head against the wind. They like edges, fence rows, scattered trees, and they stay away from open fields where there's hunting pressure or activity, or hot air balloons floating overhead.
There goes one across the field out there, wide open field.
Oh yeah, way out there though.
Now we've spooked a buck, and watch the pattern it follows. The ditch, not in one field or the other, but along the cover. You can bet there's a heavily used runway along this ditch bank. And the buck runs quite a distance before all of a sudden it makes a turn and dodges into the corn. And look how well the corn hides the buck. But the buck can't see through that corn either. Same situation except November. Cornfield has been cut. This agricultural event has a profound effect on deer patterns. No longer are cornfields used as cover, just as food. They're now openings that are a liability to deer. After watching deer move from a balloon, I've concluded that they move much like checkers in a checker game. Their favorite move is from corner to corner, and they avoid crossing a field in the middle. They want to get to cover where they disappear from sight. The wind picks up 2 hours after sunrise, and for safety's sake, we have to set the balloons down. What a way to check deer habitat, floating quietly over the treetops and fields. Back on the ground, we'll look for runs and corners linking the checkerboard fields so we can try to second guess the patterns deer follow in the fall. I don't have all the answers to deer patterns. Nobody does. The whitetails are so unpredictable as they dart and zig and zag around the countryside, but it makes it fun going out deer hunting, adding that one element, the challenge of it all, to the hunt. But mainly, what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for food from the table and sometimes a trophy that ends up in our trophy book.
Jeremy Klein has a white sucker that weighed 3 pounds 11 ounces. And here's a big fish, a 22 pound 6 ounce northern pike caught by Richard Nichols. Joe Benway has a fat 11 pound walleye caught on a jig and rapala. And Robert Hammond jigged up this 5 3/4 pound smallmouth bass. Now this thick neck 13 pointer was a good buck for Ron Edwards, who stalked it. Bow hunter Randy Watson stalked and called in this 12 pointer. Art Easton called up this 21 3/4 pound gobbler, had a 10 1/4 inch beard. And what a black bear, more than 300 pounds. Rob Long took it in the second day of the bear season.
And I saw it about 3:30 in the afternoon.
You were watching the bait, and the bear came in, and this is probably, judging from your age, one of the first bear that you've seen in the woods?
Yeah, the only bear that I've ever seen in the woods, yeah.
Now, what was it like? What were you saying to yourself?
Gee, I can't really remember what I was saying. I was concentrating on seeing a bear.
But I mean, did it scare you at all?
Oh yeah, I was shaking.
Did it do anything? Like, did it look at you?
It looked at me a couple times, but it didn't come after me or anything or stand up. He was on all fours.
What if it would have?
I don't know. I would shot it quicker, I guess.
Shot it quicker.
Well, Rob Long, timing is everything, and yours was absolutely perfect. Congratulations to you, Rob. You're our Outdoor Digest Big Bear Hunter of the Week.
Goose hunting, most commonly done in farm fields. We're hunting on the edge of a corn strip overlooking a soybean field that's just been harvested on the Little Prairie Hunt Club near Saginaw. 3 dozen decoys are set out in front of us. Bob Garner and Marv Johnson are working the calls. Marv's a retired DNR biologist who's an expert.
I think you have to call. They do get call shy sometimes, but you've got to show them where you are. You got to tell them where to come. Otherwise, you're leaving it strictly up to them. Mm-hmm. And if they can't make up their mind, you make it up for them.
We got a string of them right behind, right up
back
there. Now they're going back.
We've got some geese out here in front. Usually that's the direction we can get them from. These are birds that have fed out or are heading back into the refuge.
Now what about those geese? That flock is fairly high. See if we can call them in. Well, there's a couple of them dropping down.
Remember, just 2. One apiece. Quite low enough.
Yeah, there's some setting their wings. They're hanging low.
Oh, here's 2 breaking off.
Yep, right up there.
They may bring a whole bunch with them.
Oh, we got 3 coming over here, 2 from the other side.
Don't move.
Oh, look at that, putting the landing gear down. Here they go, here they go. Here we go. Coming in. I don't know. Almost in range, but not quite. Boy, I thought we had those.
Yeah. Those geese probably could have been taken. But we're shooting steel shot, and we like to get inside of 40 yards. You can kill them dead at 40 yards.
What does Bob see? Bob see something back here? They coming around from the back? Where are they, Bob?
Yeah, over our heads.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, there they go. They just might make one more pass through here.
It's difficult to work a big bunch. You have so many beady eyes looking at you, and like those 3 came in. Here, coming straight in.
We got him straight in? Oh, yeah, right to us, a single. It's straight out.
Bob, take it if you can.
Okay. Here we go. It's yours, Marv. All right. What a shot.
Oh, Lord, my God.
What a shot. You gonna run out and get it? I'll do it for you. My gun was down, so I hurried out to pick up the goose. Now, it might seem like extra effort, but opening the action on your gun and leaving it in the blind is the safest way to go. The limit on Canada geese this year was 2 a day, and there's plenty of meat on a goose to make a meal for a family. We saw lots of them working the fields. Bob Garner worked one call, Marv worked another. We wore camouflage clothing, didn't move when the geese were coming in, and kept up the calling. We're trying to attract their attention to our decoys, which are set in front of us in a way that looks like they're feeding. The geese in the air don't seem to be bothered that our decoys don't move. The calling seems to make up for it. Here's a short-sighted V. Watch the lead goose change direction and maintain the lead. Why they fly in a V formation isn't really known. Some say for aerodynamic reasons. Others say they see and hear each other better. We're watching for them to set their wings and come in for a landing in front of us, giving us a good, clean shot. But Bob's looking the other way. Oh, in front of us. Garner. We took 2 out of that group. There's an abundance of geese in Michigan nowadays, not just an abundance, but according to property owners in the southern part of the state, a serious overabundance. We took 5 in about 3 hours on this morning, and many landowners around golf courses and small lakes wish hunters would take many more. They eat a lot, but the big problem is the messes they leave after they eat on lawns and golf courses and in small lakes and ponds. They've become a nuisance.
Oh, yeah, right back behind you. Right over here. I think we're probably pretty much on the tail end of this morning. A lot of these birds are going back. Mm-hmm. They've been out and fed and
Off they go.
Yeah. Well, we did great.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had to hurry, but we did great.
Marv Johnson's an excellent guide, an excellent caller, and we also had an excellent morning when the geese were moving and coming into our decoys. It isn't always that way, though. That goes without saying. We have some excellent meat for the table, but even if we didn't, it would have still been another great day in the great outdoors. Goose hunting is an activity that primarily takes place in the early morning or late evening. Oftentimes there's not too much activity during the day. And cooking geese, a lot of misconceptions about cooking geese. I find if you put them on the grill and just cook them like you would a steak, they're absolutely terrific. In fact, there's a lot of misconceptions about cooking all kinds of wild game. Here's one to erase some misconceptions on squirrel.
Libby Wolf has sent us a recipe perfect for this time of year.
Oh, I guess so. With squirrel season just opening here in Michigan and around the country, I like squirrel because it is such a mild meat.
And
it really
the
is.
pieces are quite meaty for as small as they are.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to brown the squirrel in flour and salt and pepper.
Seasoned flour.
Right. And in bacon grease. I'm going to fry the bacon first and then remove it and then just put the pieces in the bacon grease.
Bacon grease gives a great flavor to small game.
It's a smoky, just a little bit of smoky flavor. And
especially the way it looks like you scorched it.
Maybe it's a dark pan.
Well, let's take a look at that. Oh, look at the underside of that bacon.
The squirrel, as it comes out of there, would be perfect just like that, just those brown pieces.
You know, a lot of people don't think that it would be because it would be tough.
No, I don't think so. We're going to add some onion and lemon juice and put the crumbled bacon back in. And we're going to add some apple, which is just a little bit different here.
That's an interesting combination of ingredients.
Right, your fruit with your meat. And
chicken broth.
Chicken broth, just for some juice.
Very compatible.
Right, because it's going to simmer here for 2 hours rather than putting it in a pressure cooker.
You know, squirrels have a short life expectancy. Many of them that hunters take are young, and they're tender.
Very tender.
Very tender. And cooking for 2 hours?
Yep, just simmer.
Garner is going to love it.
I'll tell you what, this really is very, very tender. I can't believe that it wasn't cooked in a pressure cooker.
Yeah, most of it when it is that tender, it is in a pressure cooker. But this just simmered for 2 hours.
No, it's a big fallacy about wild game.
Yeah.
It really is.
Right, you know, and the other thing that's a fallacy too, and this recipe is superb. I don't want to get away from that too much, but squirrel. Anybody who likes rabbit will like squirrel better. Some people say, "Geez, I wouldn't even eat a squirrel." Oh man, you are missing probably the best of the small game is the squirrel, and they're so available and easy to get.
And this recipe didn't do it any harm either.
No, it sure didn't.
The recipe did it very much, did a big justice.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to get some more before Bob finishes that leg.
What's the limit on squirrels anyway?
A couple legs, a back, and... You don't have to go far for this recipe, which works well with all small game, even chicken. Thanks for joining me for another edition of Outdoor Digest. We're in our fall period now when we're going to be doing a lot of hunting from week to week. But remember, we always bring back what we take from the field for our recipes. That's the whole point of hunting. Get something to eat. Whatever you do, get outdoors if you can this weekend. It's a great place to be. See you next week. You know, goose hunting is almost at an all-time high, at least in recent years, because of the problem geese around urban areas. But the duck population is a different story. Next week, we're going to have a report from the Fish and Wildlife Service on our dwindling duck population, story on deer behavior, a great recipe, and a lot more. So join me next week right here on Public TV.